Hi, welcome to the next edition of Weekly Watching the Pioneer Meta. And today, we're going to talk about some of the adjustments, and then I have 3 decks to talk about afterwards about, decks that got a reasonable fight or a 5-0 or had a decent competitive result and a challenge. So that's what we're talking about today. Now, first, like I said, we're going to be covering the actual meta changes, shifts, and go from there. If you like this kind of content, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification for future videos. We're on our way to 2,000 subs. Let's get there together. And don't forget, if you want more Magic the Gathering content from me or some additional Pioneer content, check down the link down below. There's a link to the other channel, which is Ether Clash Gaming MTG. So that is down in the description. There's usually 2 or potentially even 3 episodes per week of Magic. So if you're interested, go check that out. Let's get into the actual decks. So we have Rakdos Demons coming down 3% points, 3.5 almost. And then we have Girl Prowess basically staying at parity, like 1.6 is not that much of an adjustment. Now, Dimir Bounce is gaining another 4%, 4.5%. So it's slowly creeping up, probably going to about hit parity with Girl Prowess. And yeah, so that's basically might be the new triangle. We'll see if something else adjusts afterwards and maybe knock down Dimir Bounce or do something like that. But I would be very surprised if that occurred. I think honestly this is probably the triangle. Dimir Bounce takes care of a decent amount of other types of strategies by making them not really playable. And the Rakdos Demons kind of piggybacks and making sure other aggro decks can't get into it. And the only aggro deck left over is the one that's Girl Prowess, which has the best late game type scenario. Otherwise, we have in the other parts of Tier 1, we have these two kind of rounding out the kind of legacy all-stars of the format with Is It Phoenix and Green Devotion. Control was making its appearance again. It does do a decent job into Demons. And then we have Coco coming back a little bit, but basically staying at parity, basically taking the percentage points away from Ninjas, more than less. And then we have a Tarka Reg going down a little bit, probably to take extra slots to Girl Prowess. And then we have Fang, a little bit of an increase. Makes sense because, I mean, some of the newest cards are from Fang. So people probably want to try out new cards. And, of course, Jund Sacrifice people, they are very loyal to the deck. And Soul is probably one of the better decks that pretty cheap overall. So that's probably one of the key reasons why it's still in this conversation. Makes sense. Humans, really good aggro deck, also pretty cheap. Then you have Bora's Burn. And then you have a bunch of other stuff slowly adjusting around like the 1.75 to 2 percentage points. And yeah, that seems to be where this is at right now. Overall, like I said, I'm curious to see if there's any more adjustments after these 3 have showcased themselves. Last time we had a top 2 and Rakdos Prowess kind of just fell off the face of the earth. So I'm curious to see if these 3 can stay there long term. Like I said, throughout history of Pioneer, there's always been a 3 deck triangle. But I thought recently we were getting into healthy territory where the decks keep cycling. But now it seems like this is gonna maybe stay. So and hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully, something like Incarnation or something comes back up and beats down Dimir Bounce. But we'll see. I know Dimir Bounce really struggles against decks that have a lot of good ETB effects and gets extra card advantages. But yeah, so that's our meta shifts. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about the current state of Pioneer. I think it's moderately healthy. I think it's probably reasonable. It's probably more fun to play than other formats. Because, I mean, honestly, the worst deck in Pioneer is arguably a problem in Standard too. So, like, Dimir Bounce is a thing, and Esper Bounce is a thing in Standard, so I don't really see that much of a difference. So yeah, let's get into the actual deck list now. So first off my list in a 5-0 is Simic Merfolk. Picked up 4 new copies of the new 1-drop Merfolk, 3 Biomancers, I'm pretty sure, yeah, 3 Sentinels, 4 Scoots, 4 Drowners, 4 Hex Catchers, 4 Kamanas, and 4 Cocos. Pretty reasonable deck. Some Pilgrimages to help go long. And then we have some Tidebinders, 4 copies for a little bit of counter. 3 Unable to Scream to a little bit of removal. Gus for the mouse. We have some strokes. 4 decks that go over the top, like Mono Green Devotion. We have 3 Shaper Sanctuaries for the heavy amounts of removal decks, 3 Mages for other red and green decks, and then Hearst is our Graveyard Hate. That is Simic Merfolk. I think it's actually pretty solid right now. I played it on stream, at least a version similar to this a while back, last week. I think it was pretty good overall. I think this deck could be something that could be a huge contender in Pioneer. So if you're a Fish fan, definitely check out that stream and try it out for yourself. I am now offering Patreon and locals content exclusive. It includes sideboard guides, budget guides, exclusive videos, as well as other types of content. If you want to check out the link, it's in the description. Now, let's get back into the video. Let's get to the next list. So next is a cage list. I got 2nd place in a challenge. Now, this deck, I think, put up a solid result. Of course, 2nd place is pretty good. So we have Call as our kind of pseudo cage target. Plus we have Gear Hulk that we could use to get a Pixie, a Reliquary, Recruits, or Elves. We have also Overlord of the Mistmoors, plus the Call to get with the cage. We also have this random portable hole that we could tutor off with the Gear Hulk. We have Scavenger and Innocence as our 3 drops, and a couple Voice of Resurgences. Pretty solid card overall. Like I said, the Pixie helps bounce our cage, reset it, play it again. Sideboard, we have some Vacuums, and looks like that's it for Graveyard Hate. Artifact and Enchantment removal. We have some Mites, potentially some Knight of Autumns, also a little bit of life gain with Beza and Knight of Autumn for aggro. We also, and I guess Might too, that also is a little bit of life gain. Portable Holes for aggro. We have some Deafening Silence as a way to stop combo. Shaper Sanctuary for heavy amounts of removal decks. Giant Killer is a mid-range removal spell. So against Sheoldred and stuff like that, we can bring that in. And that is the deck. Pretty solid. Let's get to the next list. So next on my list is this weird Pyro Heroes deck, 4 or 5 color humans. We have 1 4-drop with the Blade Historian. And Satoro should work really well with Pyre. We sack something, get something else. We get a free card draw. For 3 drops, we have some Larcenist plus some Reflector Mages, depending on what you want to do or need on the current board state with these Pyro Heroes. Specialists works really well with Pyro Heroes because we get another thing 2-drop back. Sack the 2-drop, get back a Specialist, and rinse and repeat. Lieutenant's really good in that loop. We have Jaheira and Jarnera as a way to have a little bit of Graveyard Hate. Then we have some Charming Princes as a way to blink our stuff. 1-drops. We have some Veteran Survivors, Clithian. We also have some Recruitment Officers. And we have this other one up here. I'm not really sure what it is. That artwork is weird. All right, sideboard, we have some Fatal Pushes against aggro. We have some more Dauntless General for Graveyard Hate, plus Hearst. A little bit of mid-range removal and Artifact Enchantment removal for Get Lost. Peacekeeper for combo and control. Dahlia for control and combo. Cleric, Artifact and Enchantment removal. Lauren, also Enchantment and Artifact removal. A little bit of Elf Killer with the Knight Clubber. Then we have a 1 Kemba as a way to fight through aggro, combo, stuff like that, where they cast a bunch of spells in a combo turn. Basically Storm, Hate. That's the deck. This is also a human we can get with Pyro Heroes if we don't want to be aggressive and get an Adeline. So overall, this feels really good, and we also have a kind of a mini sweeper for 3 mana that we can get by sacking one of our 2 drops. So that's pretty sweet as well. And so yeah, that's the deck that got I think it's a 5-0. So that's all I have to talk about for you guys today. Next week we'll get into some more Magic. Pioneer Meta Watch. Talk to you guys next time.